I'm going to go. Ready?
No.
All right. Finance meeting is going to be called to order at 8:08, Tuesday, October 27th. All, for the record, all members of the finance meeting are present, and all members of council and the administration are here at the meeting tonight. It's been a long evening, and a lot of these items have already been gone through. I'm going to keep it on a pretty quick pace to move right into the significant items of the fiscal report and approving the next council agenda. So let's go right into, I'm going to skip the mayor's report unless you raise your hand really quick that you have additional items.
Oh, his hand's up.
All right, go ahead, Mayor.
I just want to remind everyone, trick or treat is 6 to 8 on Saturday, October 31st. Police and fire will be out protecting the children. So I forgot to do that in the other report, but it's here. So I'm done.
That one's
Thank you.
very important. So thank you. All right. And everybody be on the lookout and participate in what a great night trick or treat is. Betty, would you please go into your report from the fiscal office?
Right, you don't have much of an agenda, which is my fault. I just ran out of time. Most of the things that I will be putting on the agenda are the annual, getting ready for the end of the year, and going through items that we do every year. But I'll share that with you as time goes on. I do believe you all got a copy of the 2021 meeting dates. So we will actually act upon this later on in December, but this gives you a time to let us know if there's any conflict. At this moment in time, they will be virtual unless the mayor and council changes anything. Okay? Shake your head. Okay. Go live.
That conclude.
Okay. The pool report this year, we lost money, and we knew we were going to lose money. And we had a beautiful summer. We only had about approximately 3 days that the pool was actually closed. We lucked out from the weather standpoint, but I will share with you that the Boston Heights residents made up about 515 of the passes that were sold, and non-Boston Heights residents were 2,788. I think that's a considerable difference, more so than we would have expected, but the comments were, oh, I'm so glad that there's a pool open. I'm so glad I can cool down. People were coming from Broadview Heights. They came from all over. Would that happen again? I don't know. But for you to begin to think what you want and how you want me to handle the pool next year. Nobody really complained about no memberships. They said, oh, I wish, but they didn't complain. They didn't mind coming in and having it a charge per time that they used it. Our total receipts, which includes the $15,000 that we always give to the pool fund or to the park fund, was $35,257. The expenses was $34,456.74. So as you can see, there's very little difference, and I don't have the final electric bill or the final bill from Hastings yet. And they owe us only for 3 days about, so we're not going to be too much difference off on this. Now, we were only open from June 20th until September 7th, whatever that was. So the upshot of it was we did pretty good for being open half the summer. But I do really hope that you'll give some thought to what you want to do for 21.
And we'll be looking at that,
And
the first of the year.
right, I just don't want you to wait too long.
Right.
Because we also have Hastings contracts sitting out there. The mayor was kind enough to tell you about the grant that we got, but I wanted to tell you how much we got. We got $1,908.60, which paid for that entire blinker sign. So now, The last thing that I want to talk about before the end of the year is the financial forecast reference to COVID. We're down this year, of course, from COVID, but we're holding our own. I think we're doing a pretty good job of controlling expenses. We have 2 funds that are COVID-19 funds. We have not spent it all yet, but we're spending it now on payroll, and it will be all spent by the end of the year in the final report. We've received so far $175,694.27. Our expenditures are not very much right now, but they will be. The police department, the part-time and the full-time officers, their salary comes out of the COVID funds. The only other thing that comes out besides their expenses for insurance or whatever, if we have the money, is I take 8 hours of pay out of my pay to come out of that. I actually spend a lot more than that, but just trying to make sure we want to use the money, and we want to make sure we use it up. At the end of the year, we have to file another report. On this, a couple other things that to show you about the interest. The cemetery fund interest went from $43.73 in December of last year down to 46 cents. So you can see Star Ohio went from $999.90 to $162.85. Revenue, that we've all experienced some revenue. Rita's revenue is down about $350,000 to date, and the gas taxes are down about $50,000. Understandable, because people are not traveling as much. OPWC, I noted you before that it was not open for business. I did get an announcement. They will start in November. So we will be able to start paying, but not until January. We're paid ahead, which I'm grateful for, but they have been closed down. They're not accepting any checks or anything right now. The state auditor has put the quarterly payments for communities on hold. We've continued to pay it because we've had the money to do so. We have to pay it in the long run anyway. Credit cards have been kind enough to extend, but we've not taken advantage of that. We're still paying on time. We have the mayor's court. The mayor's court was closed for a few weeks this spring, and it did have an impact on our income. In fact, we lost about $25,000 during that period of time. One time instead of getting $20,000 of income, one month it was $2,500. So we had to, that showed a big difference, but it was not our fault. That was because it was closed down.
Well, sometimes bad winters give a similar result. Just to keep in mind.
Not quite this bad, but that's okay. Unemployment's growing and the expenses are up, and it's difficult for me to forecast too far in the future. And all my friends are saying the same thing, that we just are hoping and praying that our forecast is right. So we're holding our own. We are not in arrears with anything yet. We're still on top of our bills, and I hope that we can remain that way. And I'm done, unless you have questions.
No, but there should be no, I know you were kind of in jest, but there should be no reason for arrears.
No, there should be no reason.
Right. And I appreciate us staying on top of all payments and not deferring any payments, because we don't need to defer the payments
Yes, if we don't need
right now.
to, it's got to be paid anyway. So if we don't need to, I try not to. I would not do that.
Okay. And when do you think that the conclusion of this year, that snapshot of
I hope by end of January, but let's keep our fingers crossed it's even earlier.
by the end of January?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that'd be great with all of these costs and things coming in and out, to be able to get a good picture of a bottom line, or really understand where that fits with the debt load, the paying the bonds off, and how we're operating and how this pandemic has affected operations. I appreciate your oversight.
Well, I think the police department have done a great job, and as well as the road department, not excluding them, but as far as the police department, they've been right up front with everything. I think they've done great.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Thank you, Betty. You know what? It does look like there's one question from the public, and but it might be, I don't know if you want to provide context around it or not, but the question is, what is the bottom line dollar figure in the general fund? Or if that's even answerable right now from you. It might just be more of an approximation or something.
Approximations around 2 million. Look, I think I'm close to 3 million, but it's really don't have the exact amount right now. And I can't get, because we're doing this, I can't get into the program right now.
All right. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Let me go back to the agenda. It looks like a very light agenda load for November.
Right. We'll have some run of the mill things to do, but I didn't have time. I apologize.
Okay. All right. So right now, let's be on the lookout for just as much anticipation that the administration can give us on ordinances and resolutions. Be appreciated. So as they come, maybe you can email them over for us so that we can do our homework and be prepared for votes in November's council meeting on the 17th.
Will do.
All right. Thank you. All right. At this point, it's important to note the year-end finance meetings, Tuesday, November 17th. Everybody check your calendar and make sure that it's on there so that there's no surprises,
Right.
because it's a little bit different.
It is because of Thanksgiving this year.
And Christmas as well.
Well, Christmas is always the 3rd. If you recall, that's in the Green Book, that the December meeting, finance is always on the 3rd Tuesday.
Well,
And that's what that is.
I guess my point is that both of them are going to be back to back, so we're going to have a lot to discuss during that time.
Right.
There's no break.
Okay, and then December 15th, just to make sure everybody has all of those changes. All right, I'm making my change. All right, we have those items on. Mr. Mayor, go ahead.
Okay, all I want to say under new business, and I didn't do it in a report, but with this COVID, we're probably only going to have a limited party for the employees that are to work in this, work every day. I don't know that we're going to risk, because COVID has not changed much, that we're going to risk having the usual holiday party. Many organizations have curtailed those for the year. Now, what they are, some of the organizations that I'm involved with, they are saying that if the cure is here in January, February, March, they might do something different for Easter, maybe do the party there. So hopefully we'll have something by then to celebrate, but I'm not, at this point. So,
Mayor,
yes.
are we going to do anything for Senior Thanksgiving? Maybe deliveries only, or is that?
Well, we looked into that. I looked into getting some dinners. We could do that. The big thing is we could deliver them. We do get very close then. We could have Uber deliver them. I haven't really decided. I was thinking what I was going to do is I was going to get Thanksgiving cards and send them out to all those members, senior members that we usually invite, and say that maybe, again, we would do something for Easter as opposed because remember, that population is our most vulnerable. So I don't want to really risk anything. And that's part of the reason why we're meeting like this. And the governor and the legislature in Columbus are definitely looking at increasing the virtual meeting timeframe. They have that on their docket. We talked about that in the executives meeting today, that's been approached. So I'm not sure how long yet, so I didn't want to get anyone's ideas up one way or the other. But you know, communities that have a very large room and they can separate everyone, but as we know, in our room, if we get 10 to 12 people in there, that's about it. And if we can't allow the audience to come in, it's kind of hard to program how we're going to have live and have people call in. And we don't have a whole video system to do that. So that's why, for the time being, this is probably a better way. And it's worked, I think, very well tonight with the public hearing, having people the availability to ask questions in that. So I know it's not the way we're used to doing it, and we like to do things in person, but for the safety of everyone right now, it's probably the safer way to do this. So that's all I have, Don. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any other items? Okay. Seeing none, the only thing that I wanted to mention to the mayor was the polling location. We still had the polling location. I know there was requests for kind of like all hands on deck to find folks that would serve at the polls. And I, for one, did ask around, and I did have people, and I've heard people apply from here in Boston
good.
Heights.
Yeah, I had a couple that asked me to, and I know I sent them down there because they said they wanted to work here, and I said, we don't get to make that decision.
And maybe
if
that
we had
was
enough
one of
poll
the
workers
issues.
here already, they're going to send them someplace. So I don't.
Okay, I appreciated that because you know, I got some feedback that there wasn't an ability to have the volunteers come at our location. Maybe we were already full. So
Well, that's what they're telling me. But again, the Board of Election handles all that. They are actually to bring 9 o'clock tomorrow. They're bringing the voting equipment here.
great.
They came out and measured. They thought we can distance the correct way. They're supposed to give us a map of how I put out the booths or how we get the booths put out. So we're going to go with that. I showed them the fire station, made it available to them. They kind of decided they didn't need to go that big a route. So,
Okay.
all right.
Well, thank you. It's just important. So thank you. Thank you for doing that. All right. Is there any other open items of business that anybody needs to discuss? Seeing none and hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn the.
Can I just make a quick comment? I just wanted to make a quick comment. It's addressing Heather's question about Thanksgiving, and then the mayor's answer about. I'm grateful that you asked Heather about the Thanksgiving dinners, because I know that there are people that look forward to that, and then that the mayor's response was that he was going to be sending them a card with, hopefully, you know, in the future that we would be doing something for the seniors. So
Right.
I just wanted to follow up with that is then what is going to be taking place. Does that make sense? Is the mayor sending out the cards? That's basically all I was asking.
Yes, that was the plan. I'm going to get cards.
And I appreciated Heather's question.
Sent out and say that we want to make sure you're all safe, and we do want to enjoy it. So maybe we're going to set it for whether it's even right at Easter. We, you know, once we get them to the point where it's a safer time for them to do this, we can do that. We can do that meeting and have that dinner. So, but at this point, having it delivered, you know, whether it's you or I delivering, Janet, or the Uber driver or the DoorDash or whatever, it's still, we're putting a risk out there, and I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. Okay?
All right, thank you for that. Everybody's good. Everybody have a safe, enjoyable Halloween, and we will hopefully see you next Wednesday. All right, everybody have a great night. Mr. Mayor, that concludes the meeting.
Good night.
And I'm gonna put you,
8:27, okay?
yep, and I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
put you back as the host so you can
Thank you, sir.
do the recording.
All right,
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night.
good night. Thank you.